Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is for the fantasy science of fantasyfootball.com. This is the high scoring games, snaps, daps, Vegas, and my efficiency metrics trying to build the landscape for you to make some decisions and for me to make decisions. And this kind of process uh, inspires deeper thinking, at least I hope. And that's the whole point of it, not for you to follow exactly what I say. I'm just trying to put out some thinking that I see, well, analysis that I see, and maybe inspires you. Uh, Probably more flex kind of situations. Don't think you're sitting great players based on bad situations. I just think our expectation will go down. Maybe for daily fantasy, this material helps. I don't know. I don't play a lot of daily fantasy or Vegas betting, but here it is anyway. First game is Miami versus New England, 33 to 14. So this is Vegas kind of estimates. They're pretty much thinking New England's just not going to do much of anything and struggle, and Miami's going to be the usual Miami getting that 30 plus week games. Tyreek Hill, Waddle, um, Moster. I don't know if Jeff Wilson gets in on the point scoring or whoever. So we'll see what all that means. But that's the idea. Uh, the Vegas again says minus 9.5, 47 points. This is above average scoring. So we hope to see lots of scoring here. This next box is my so-called Daps, defense against position. Gives you the defensive landscape the team is facing. So the way you read this, here's Miami. They are at home against New England, which is below average uh, uh, defense. Okay, they are tough. I mean, well, below average against a running back. So Moster's going to have to earn his biscuits here. The New England is tough against quarterbacks and below average tough against wide receivers. So it looks like that Waddle and Hill are going to, have to really work hard here uh, to kind of escape some of the danger that is the New England defense. Kickers you want to play and the Miami defense you definitely can play as well. So I don't know who the tight end is for Miami. We'll have to look at the snaps, but they've been kind of quiet this season. New England gets an opportunity here. I know what Vegas says, but gets an opportunity. New England facing an easy Miami. New England's uh, running is above average easy, so Stevenson Murray should be able to do what they can do. I'm hoping I have Stevens in a lot of places. Quarterback, wide receiver, tight ends, it's all good, folks. Uh, and then the kicker and the D is definitely a play as well. So this is a situation for New England where Vegas is pretty much thinking that New England doesn't have the talent to take advantage of Miami's easy defense. That's, I think that's how we can look at it. Uh, I don't know if I'm buying that totally. It seems to be a little loosey goosey on that spread there, folks, and it could be that 47 is in jeopardy. I mean, one thinks when you look at the Daps that if Miami scores, say, 33, it just seems like New England has the opportunity to score more than Vegas would say. And so that would mean, an over situation. And maybe the spread is probably smaller than people think. So that's how it looks on that. Efficiency metrics is this next block of material. Miami loves to play at home. They're at home. They rush and pass left. So I don't know if they're going to do any different, but think about it. Miami has been passing less, and yet their Waddle and Hill just been tearing it up. So that means that they are super efficient with the opportunities, and their rushing attempts and passing attempts have actually are below average. And again, there's this efficiency. So Miami is so efficient with less attempts than you might think here. And they are improving. Rushing and passing, they're below average. Anything negative is below league average. This in green means that they are improving their last three games. So Miami's improving. Their rushing and passing has been below, yet they have been crazily efficient. And they tend to want to rush. So I think if they get multiple touchdown leads, uh, Moster, Wilson maybe get opportunities here. So you should definitely consider Moster, and I think Wilson could be uh, let's just say Wilson has an opportunity given the home field, the efficiencies are going up, and Miami likes to rush at home. New England loves to be at home, and they're not. So that's a bad news. Uh, New England away rushes more, passes less. So you see at home they rush less, pass more. So that means that Stevenson, Murray should be getting more opportunities in this away game. And the Daps say, okay, the only issue, and again, what I think Vegas is counting on, is if New England has to rush more, then the clock, maybe runs out before they get enough time to keep up with Miami. In other words, can New England fight its trend in a way, in such a way to reverse what they usually have been doing? They have been declining in uh, rushing and passing. They look at minus six, one of the worst rushers in the league, and -2 is sucky as well for passing. But believe it or not, even though they haven't been great, they've still been improving in the last three games. So there are some positives and negatives in this data. The biggest negative for me is they're going to have to go against their past trends to try to keep up with Miami, and I just don't know if rushing more and passing less is the secret for New England. I think, in fact, it would be the opposite. And I don't know how good this team is to flip the script, as it were. Miami, here's the Moster. Last week, Wilson got 7. So you figure he's going to increase. Ahmed got 18. Moster only got 26. So uh, it is unclear what we're going to get this week, obviously. This is what happened. Smythe, I guess, in daily fantasy, maybe there's a long shot play. Hill, Barrios out did Waddle because of his back injury. So if Waddle's back to 100%, I think 38-46 snaps. And again, those are not great snap numbers. I would love to see in the 50s for both of those. In other words, I want to see week 2 for this week, and Miami's been spreading it a little bit, so that sucks. But these guys are just so damn good with little opportunities. For daily fantasy, Barrios may be a surprise. You know, long shot play may get you something. Uh, Stevenson, Elliott. I'm sorry, I said Murray. That's Buffalo. Elliott is the other guy. So Stevenson and Elliott. Uh, 39, 20, 21. So we're talking with a 60-40. That split probably doesn't change. Elliott probably red zone. So uh, could get slip a touchdown. Both those could get a touchdown if New England tries to rush instead of pass a lot. Hunter Henry, Gesicki, Pharaoh Brown looks like they're all about the same. So that's the first week we've seen where Pharaoh Brown is almost the same as the other one. So they're really uh, cutting Henry and Gesicki's time here. So that is not good if you're trying to play any of those. So they're cutting all the fantasy opportunity here. Bourne looks like the alpha here. Uh, Douglas has been getting some buzz on Twitter. Get 37, Parker 35. So Parker went down, but Douglas went up. He might be a sneaky play here as your beta. Rager has also got some attention and coming back. So if New England flips their script and tries to pass a lot, I think Douglas and Rager could get more attention. I think Bourne is going to get a lot of attention from the Miami, the best. Don't know if it'd be shadow coverage, but Bourne is a PPR play for sure, and I'm playing him where I can, given the Daps. I just don't know the opportunities. I mean, snap wise, yes, but I don't know target wise. Okay, Chargers, Chicago, another situation where Vegas thinks Chicago sucks, basically, 14 points, and Chargers think their butt right there at 32 points. So another uh, great, overwhelming team and a sucky opponent is kind of the scenario. And by the way, KC, Denver, Dallas Rams, notice the same scenario Vegas sees. All the above average scoring games this week have that same scenario. So let's see what the Daps tell us. Chicago should play everybody except their D. How about that? So Chicago's at 15. Dennis and I talked about this on the podcast yesterday, Science of Fantasy Football, episode 116. Uh, and we decided that I think the odds for Chicago 3 or 4 to 1 might be worth $5 on your sports book here, just because the Daps look so easy. In other words, the Chargers D has been kind of sucky. Uh, but anyway, Chicago seems to have opportunities here, folks. The Chargers have opportunities. It looks. You want to play the kicker, the D for the Chargers, uh, the tight end, Everett. I know Allen is here and Palmer. I think they'll overcome that. There is a little tough spot right here below average, but it looks to me, I mean, if I showed you this Daps and didn't show you what Vegas thought, you would think it's maybe a higher scoring game than Vegas thinks, and Chicago's closer than 8.5 points. That's how it looks to me. Chicago loves to be at home away, and guess what? They're away, and they rush and pass more at home. So they are more efficient away because they pass less and rush less. That's very strange. They've been rushing a lot recently, and one of the best leagues in turning up rushing, +9. That is amazing. And they've been passing less. So sad for more. You know, you probably still got to play him given the Daps, but I hate to see that. Chicago has been improving, folks. So improving. They don't mind being away. Uh, they like to rush. Foreman put on a show last week. We'll see what happens. Roshan Johnson's back. I don't know how that's going to play out. Chargers love to be at home. They love to rush, pass less. So their script would be get ahead and let Eckler take over the show. But they have been declining recently. Of course, Eckler has been out a lot, so that number could be a little funky. They have been increasing uh, again in rushing, but declining in passing here. And they haven't really been more efficient recently. Hadn't been negative too much. It's not red, but they haven't been like Chicago increasing. So both teams like their situation. The Daps say it's a go. It looks for fantasy like you want to play a lot of these. Chargers last week, Eckler got 40. Kelly's about 20. So it's, it's, what is that? Is that, 2 times Kelly there? So 60-40. One wonders how Kelly gets that many, but he does. So Eckler, I need to see him back up to 50. I hate to see 40. That's Everett should bounce back and look like week 6 instead of week 7. Week 7 looks like they were spreading it out. I don't know if Everett got hurt, but Parham may surprise us as well because there are DAP opportunities. Keenan Allen and Palmer outpointed uh, Allen, and Quentin Johnson is third. So it looks pretty clear what Chargers are going to do passing here. They've got basically two alpha types and Quentin Johnson just kind of hanging out there. And people have been wanting him to break out. I don't know. He's behind apparently Palmer and, of course, Allen as well. So nothing here really. The only thing concerns me if I was having to rely on Everett, I don't like this snap pattern here. I'm not happy that Eckler declined last week. I don't know. Rushed back too soon and overextended himself. I don't know. That we'll see what happens. I'm hoping Eckler can run himself into shape of week 8. Chicago, Badget Man, Secret Badget Man, 68. That's great. Foreman and Darian Evans split, and Foreman just was the touchdown machine. Roshan Johnson has been in the 20s. If he comes back, does he get in the 20s and Evans go down and Foreman stay? Or it could be a three-way scrum here, and that doesn't help anybody. You hard to set Foreman with this touchdown spree, but I don't think he'll get 3 touchdowns again. So I wouldn't count on that. We can get one out of him, I'd be happy. And I have no clue about that. Unless I was in a deep hole, I would probably wait a game, see what we're going to get snap wise. But this is nothing here inspires lots of confidence to me. Cole Kmet is a play. If you got to play him, you got to play more. Scott has been showing up the last 2 weeks, folks. I don't, if if Badgett, can continue his role, Maybe Scott's in the mix. Mooney, I've been underwhelmed with him. So I would play more and consider Scott in a long shot play, and Mooney is Mooney. He could give you something, or he could give you a donut. Who knows? Okay, next game, KC Denver. We talked a lot about this on the podcast. Uh, Again, Vegas loves Denver to get 14, 15 points. Obviously, KC is the dog. 46, though, 8 points. Uh, some of this, the reason Denver is only 15, look at the Daps that KC defense is laying down. Tough, 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 tough. This says don't play anybody. If you got to play Javonte Williams, just realize your expectations are tough, 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 tough. I'm playing what I got to. I'm not inspired to play anybody else. Uh, KC should play everybody all day long. Look at Kelsey, extra easy. I need 2 touchdowns this week, damn it. So and Pachenko. So it all looks good for KC. So the 31 side of KC seems fine. You want to play the KCD. You don't want to play the Denver. Play the kicker. Don't play Denver's kicker. Denver loves to be at home. They're at home. They tend to pass and rush more at home. They've been increasing in rushing, decreasing in passing. And if you look at that, -6 is one of the worst passing, and they have been declining. Declining, not passing a lot, facing the tough D. Uh, Denver looks to be in a world of hurt. I mean, and Dennis and I talked about this. We talked about Chargers Chicago, and I said that Chicago seemed to have a better shot at getting closer to Chargers than Denver does. It may be exact opposite. Of course, it's fantasy football. KC loves to be away, folks. Look at that. They're equal rushing and they're a balanced team. They have been declining in rushing over the season, but they love to pass. Look at that, +7. Really hadn't been declining or improving. So I'm satisfied with Vegas's view. I don't see much that would take me off KC or put me on the Denver a lot. Javonte Williams is the only one he might accidentally get one of those 2 touchdowns predicted. Maybe Sutton or Judy gets the other one. I don't know. Snaps. Chaco, 36. Look, McKinnon, uh, season high snaps 25. So I don't know what that means. But if the game gets out of hand, uh, we may even see more of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So, in other words, I think if I had to play Pacheco, I would hope he would get his score early because this might get to be a funky game the way they'll try to eat up the clock. Kelsey's Kelsey. What can I say? Hope you got Gray as his handcuff. MVS actually got a score last week. Imagine that. Sky Moore, Sky Moore. Rashee Rice has been seeing more touches in the last 3 weeks or so. He's on the improve, folks. But everybody knows that, so I don't know how valuable that data is. But that's who I'd want to play in daily fantasy. A little bit of Rice, obviously Kelsey. That would be my stack. Denver, Javonte Williams bounced back with 31. That's why I would consider if we saw something like week 6, in week 7, I would be way less on Williams. But the fact that he got 31, that's a season high. tells me they still have confidence in him. So I'm hoping he'll get the red zone looks and get me a score, deep flex. Troutman, he scored what once, so Sutton Judy, it's their show, and I think Brandon Johnson may be out. So Humphreys, people still wanting to wish Mims to come in there. Uh, if Mims gets the third spot, was that worth given the Daps of the KC folks? So I don't know. Dallas Rams 29-16. Like what? Let's see what the Daps say. Uh, I got the wrong Daps. Wow, I'm shocked. Okay, let me stop what I'm doing here. Okay, let's try Dallas and Rams again. Dallas 29, Rams 16. Here is the right information for us to look at. Again, Vegas thinks the Rams 16, Dallas 29. So Dallas overwhelms the Rams. So with Nakua and Cup, are you? I don't know if I'm buying this scenario. That's what Vegas is selling. Dap wise, Dallas is at home, and the Rams are pretty tough against the run. So Pollard's going to have to earn his biscuits here. Look at that tough. They are easy on the quarterback, so Dak gets a treat going against the Rams. Rams are easy against Jake Ferguson. It looks to me like there's your stack right there. Definitely play the Dallas kicker. You don't want to play the Dallas D. Here's the issue for CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, Cooks, the rest of the wide receivers. Tough. The Rams played wide receivers rough and tough. So this scenario looks to me like Dak and his tight end have to loosen up the Rams passing defense to give Lamb, etc., Gallup, Cooks, who could surprise this week given this scenario, have to loosen them up to try to get something. And I think Pollard probably not. In other words, there's nothing here that says Pollard gets more than the usual. So you got to play him if you got him, but just the range of uncertainties doesn't work in his favor this week. Rams, Dallas D is tough against rushing as well. So I don't know who is the rusher this week for, for the Rams. Whoever it is going to have to work hard. Stafford's going to have to earn his uh, treats, and notice the tight end. And same scenario here. You don't want to play the kicker or the D. And if I had to look at these two teams, their defenses and Daps look almost mirror image. In other words, it looks like Dallas and the Rams are going to have to work hard to earn everything with the wide receivers, which is interesting. Uh, so that kind of muddles this scenario Vegas is laying down a little bit. Dallas loves being home; they're at home. Rams love to be away, folks. And when the Rams are away, they want to rush more, pass about the same. They've been declining in passing, believe it or not, declining in passing in recent, but both teams are improving. So we got two improving teams that don't mind playing Dallas at home or Rams away. Dallas at home rushes and passes equally. They have been declining in passing a little bit and rushing somewhat. They've been getting a little more efficient in their points and whatnot. So it looks like they're well matched, and it looks like they both have uh, the obstacles uh, for getting their wide receivers. So I think whichever team can get the wide receivers going should be very competitive, and I just cannot count out Cup and Nakua here. Even Vegas has tried to shut them out. I, I, my gut feeling is Rams have more talent with the two than CeeDee Lamb with the one, and I think they have a higher shot at breaking. And if they do, I think they can score more than 16. They could get 24. It could be closer, folks. And Dallas, if they don't get Lamb going, it's possible that that 29 is uh, that's an adventurous number. Let's call it that. I could see this game much closer than Vegas has. Didn't say everybody scoring lots of points. I just see the scenario of Dallas skewed and Rams less might be closer on the scale to being equal. So I don't know the odds or anything, but if I had $5, I might take the Rams and the odds if it's 3-1. I don't know. You know, I think I'll do a parlay: Chicago and the points, and the Rams and the points. I'm not going to do it. Daps, take a look. Pollard 51. That is great. Look at the last, week 4 and 5. So hopefully coming back, Pollard's ready to roll. Okay, not seeing much else for the rest of the crew. Ferguson, expected him to have a nice touchdown day. Okay, Lamb, Gallup, and Cooks. Dallas can't figure out who the alpha is, so that hurts everybody. And Lamb has been less productive than you would have thought given his draft capital. Cooks finally got a score. I I don't know. This to me, these two muddle the situation for Lamb. Uh, Stafford's fine. So is it Henderson maybe? Freeman? Uh, Zach Evans out of the doghouse? You want to see the toughest decision? Who's getting what? Got Henderson? I guess you got to play him, but Freeman might be a surprise. Uh, I don't know. I'm looking not to play either one. Higby could be another touchdown surprise this week. He should have an opportunity. We'll see. I think him and Ferguson, their fates are also tied in with the team fates a lot more than usual this week. If Higby and Ferguson can make things happen, then I think that might open up for the wide receivers. Nakua and Cup right there. And Atwell's the third, and they sprinkle in some other folks. I wouldn't play Atwell. If Atwell scores, he's going to do it early because the D is all targeted in on Nakua and Cup. So that's how Atwell scores. In daily fantasy, I guess he could be a long shot. But you got to play Nakua. You got to play Cup. I don't know how you get away with that. Okay. That is the higher scoring games. There are a couple that seem believable that Vegas is right. The other ones, the Chicago and uh, this game seems a little bit tricky, and maybe Vegas is a little off. I wish you good luck. Hopefully you're enjoying me kind of teasing through this. Take care. Good luck.